Isn't it amazing? Everyone's losing their faith because of people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, Alex O'Connor, Stephen Hawking, Richard Dawkins, Weinberg, a host of others, Bill Nye, the science guy. Scientific atheism that's been very effective at saying, what need there be for a God? We have science. And if there is no person, creator, then what is you? What is your purpose? What a person? Then why would you matter? Are you not a person? Or what's a person? Just a host of molecules, chemicals, and gases, sinew, flesh. What's a person? How are you any different than the animals in the jungle, the wild beasts of the field, the fowls of the air, the fish of the sea? Well, you come from the fish of the sea. That's your mother and father. There's no need for God. You have science. When you die, that's it. People are losing their faith. Generation Z. Faithless. No interest in God. In many cases, there's a pandemic of cognitive dissonance. People who may want to believe. Sure, it would be nice to believe, but there is no data, no proof of it. What do you do? Why are the churches emptying? Particularly in the West. They are museums in France now. Who attends a church? England. 1 million Muslims in England. A country of what, 10 million? Christians are abandoning faith, particularly in the traditional sense. There are many things about traditional Christianity that needs to be abandoned. But instead of correcting their faith and proving it, they're throwing it away entirely. Because they cannot reconcile the atheist scientist view with faith. It's not enough to believe in God. You need something to prove God to believe in God. Of course, you don't need anything to prove life on other planets, and we'll spend trillions of dollars trying to verify our own cognitive dissonance. No evidence, but let's prove that there is. We believe there is. It just makes sense because why? Well, there is no creator. We don't need a creator. We don't need a designer to believe in complexity or complex theory or anything of that sort. As long as you don't inject or infer a creator, everything else is on the table. As long as you leave the creator out of it, no God, then, it's a plausible hypothesis. We'll entertain all of that. Yes, let's talk. Let's pontificate about the possibilities and possibilities and probabilities of random order of cosmic energy. And what can come of it? And I'm a little confused, however, that some of the smartest people historically on the planet who have given us some of the greatest mathematical probable equations and minds of cosmic understanding in the heavens above and in the linguistic studies of cultures and writing seem to be going the opposite way of our European friends. And I'm talking about the Muslims, before there was Muslims, the Arab, the Ishmaelite tribes. Interesting. How is it possible that their numbers are ever increasing and growing exponentially? Well, there are some reasons for that, and I'll address them in a second. As smart as they are, as ancient people as they are, as intelligent as they are, as scientific, the things that the Arab world have come up with in science is to be marveled. And yet, they are not abandoning their faith. And their faith has all kinds of holes in it. The opposite. They use their scientific minds, their intellectual acuity and comprehension. They use their smart to promote something not as smart as all, with fervor and energy and power and conviction, to the point they'll cut your head off over it. They are all in, and they are the fastest growing religion on the planet. 2-1. How is that possible? Well, partly, you just keep saying the same lie over and over again with passion and conviction, and all the science in the world is not going to stop someone from believing in it. Humans are emotional beings. Yes, we can think, we can problem solve, we can reason, but that's not the biggest part of us. We are passionately emotional and emotionally passionate. And we'll throw out all the science and data if we just believe in anything, with or without science. Secondly, we fear death. We fear death. And we will just about do anything to survive and to live. Lie, cheat, steal, and deny. And Islam is a master of that technique. Heads off, convert or die. Pay that tribute and that tax if you want to live amongst us. There is no reason. And they don't need to give one, nor do they feel a need to dissect their book in a homiletic, apologetic kind of way. There's no breakdown of the Quran the way they break down the Christian Bible. Very few people out there breaking down the Quran, dismantling, exposing its lack of archaeological proof and historicity. Where are the ancient corroborators and witness? Where are the other sources? Doesn't matter. They don't do Quran studies or even Sunnah studies. They leave that to the imams. And that's for the geniuses. They are told what to believe and they believe it. And primarily at its root, it's an us against everyone else. And that was predicted in the Bible, in the ancient writings of our Jewish brethren. They will hate every nation will hate them. They have a Comanche mindset. Everyone's the enemy, and we are the enemy of everyone. They want complete takeover of all infidels and conversion. But when you really look at Islam, you'll see it for what it is. A lie, a farce. Of course, the people don't examine that. Oh, there's an outlier, a few on the side, but the majority, no, it's not the structure of their faith. Christianity is debated. It started off that way, being debated in Rome between the various regional factions from the various sides of the empire and throughout Africa. It's constant political, parliamentary procedure of debate. Now, there's a small one in Islam for the caliphate between the Sunnis and the Shias, based on who's going to continue after Muhammad died, if Muhammad ever really lived. That'll float your boat, won't it? Or bake your noodle. But it doesn't matter. The number one name for babies in the world is Muhammad. And everywhere they go, they infest and they multiply. Population explosion, conversion, evangelization by population. Overwhelm the enemy's space. Have babies. You are aborting yours in the name of gender and sexual rights. And the ones you are having, you're not calling them babies. You're calling them all kinds of self-appointed gender denial names. And you wonder. Those debates don't go on in Islam. Only in the West, thank you, Christianity, because you see true freedom. There's all of these factions in the Christian church, and the Christian church is set up to look like the world. The Muslims want as little to do with looking like this world as possible. But in Christianity, oh no. You see, the Muslims want to be entirely different and eliminate any difference that comes in it. Christianity, we just blend in to win them. Let's just become like them, and they'll see how nice and sweet we are. It didn't start off that way, did it? But it figured out how to get more people in, lure them with candy, lower the standard. That was the first affirmative action, to get the quotas up. Let's lower the standards. Let's lower the standards of this faith. Oh, we don't have to be so strict about this. Women can come and look like prostitutes. Men can come with tattoos all up and down their bodies. Divorce, let's stop being so strict about that. Babies, yeah, make money. Be productive. Get a dog. Prayer all day. My house should be a house of prayer. No, it's a house of entertainment. Let's bring in strobe lights and fog machines, loud music. Let's jam. Let's give them a concert every weekend. Let's turn it into Woodstock. And let's use sex. Make sure the women bleach their hair blonde. We really do like the blonde women on the stage, don't we, in America? Because Hollywood sold you on blondes. Not because the blondes are the most beautiful women, it's because you've been indoctrinated to believe that through marketing. Let's make sure these women can put on those stiletto high heels. And let's paint their face with glossy red lipstick, long eyelashes, exposed skin. Let's make it sexy, not holy. No bowing on the ground. And let's let the women run it. The men pray so much. No. My wife, she's a spiritual one. She's at the tree talking to the snake and the serpent, and she just hands it to me. Hi, honey, take a bite. Okay. I let her run that. I just focus on making money to give her jewelry and furs because I'm not really into God. My wife would tell you that. She likes it that way. That way she can have spiritual power over me. I want to play golf, make some money, gamble, drink a little, maybe an affair or two on the side, keep her in a nice house until she decides she doesn't need me for that. And she'll change the law so she won't need me at all. Doesn't need me to provide. It doesn't need me to protect. Heck, she can run faster than me now. You destroyed yourselves in the West. Your sins have found you out. You've abandoned your duty. You have Bibles you don't understand. The geniuses, the pastors, have indoctrinated you into believing a lie of the scripture. It's a Jewish book, but you don't care to go to the Jews to understand the book. Jesus was Jewish, the disciples were Jewish, but that means nothing to you. You just want to make money, get famous rather than promote the famous one. You want to be the famous one. It's about your name. I want people to know me. I want to make money. And most of the words that come out of your mouths is making money, never knowing God. And you hide behind God. How are you any different? You are worse. And so since you don't care about God, you are not hungry and thirsty for God. He lets your enemy have you. The one thing about your enemy that you can't say about you, they have a passion. And an addiction to their conviction. And they are afflicting you. All the data, all the science, all your facts and fact checking cannot light a candle to a man full of conviction and belief. Sorry, Mr. Scientist. Nice facts. But the heart is stronger. And if the heart believes with everything it's got a lie, and you have a truth that you have no passion and conviction for, the lie will win over you. For what good is love without passion and truth without conviction? For you, not much. The truth doesn't change. But how you practice it does. For the mere fact of a marriage, where you're devoted to your wife, factually, contractually, never enough. And women will tell you that. Where's the passion in our relationship? He doesn't cheat on me. He pays the bills. He buys me things I like. But there's just no love. Well, why? Well, love. I'm faithful to you. What else do you want? I want passion. All that other stuff is required, yes. But I want passion. And without it, it's very mechanical. It's very robotic. And I'm a human. I need passion. I need fire. And so you see the passion and the fire in Islam, but you do not see it in Christianity. And I'm not talking about a hyped up service where people are jumping around playing with snakes, screaming and throwing Bibles and going ba 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 ba, speaking in a tongue that they're not speaking at all. I'm not talking about that kind. The Muslims don't have to hype themselves up like that because they really do have a passion. It's not based on some external motivation of entertainment. They don't work themselves up in a frenzy because of that. It's the idea, their ideology. They're convinced of it. Why are you not convinced of yours? Because you've got money and sex and fun on your mind, and they do not. And that's why they're winning. And that's why they're going to cut your head off for not believing in Allah. Because you who claim to believe in the Lord, His Torah, His Redeemer, Yeshua, where is the proof? You are the hypocrite. And God calls you out by using your enemy. Shape up.